Hello, YouTube. What is up, everybody? Prof Sales. Have not talked to you guys in a couple days, so it's going to be good to be back on the air and hanging out with all you guys, seeing what's up. So let's see how everything's sounding here. What's up, Mark? To be back on the air, and so it sounds pretty good. Hey, Mark. Hope you are well, my friend. Just getting started here, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so yeah, it's been 3 days, I guess, since I talked to you guys Friday, and today is Monday, August 22nd, 2016. We are motoring through this summer, are we not? I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for fall. The heat has gotten to me now. So many days of 90+ degree temperature. I'm just done. But the real reason I'm ready for fall is because this is good gene selling weather, right? And that is what we are about here at Prof Sales. It's gene selling. Well, but we're primarily about gene selling right now. So I'm definitely ready for fall to show up. Back to school is right around the corner. And I am glad for that. So I'm going to give you guys an update. I'm letting the room fill up a little bit because we always have a nice chat going on. I haven't been on a few days, so it might take a moment before everybody gets their notification that we are live once again here on Prof Sales. It's been a good few days. It was a good weekend. There are commitments I have outside of business on the weekend, so I usually end up spending a lot of time dealing with those. But I enjoy those, and they give me some perspective on business. They give me a good way to a good break from business. And I did do some business stuff too, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about inventory. Oh, man. I tell you what, you know, the one piece of advice I could give to somebody who wants to be a reseller and wants to have a lot of different items is to go ahead and come up with a good inventory system. Nail it first or second time, because man, when you got to go back and redo it like I've been doing, it is a pain in the butt. And so that's I'm right there with inventory again. You know, I think I mentioned that I was going to go in and start changing my inventory system, and the real reason I'm doing it is because I can get more storage out of my units the way I'm doing it. Instead of holding 10 in each space, I'll be able to hold 12 now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 20% more adds up. It cuts down the number of fixtures I got to have. I like the way they stack in there better now. I've been selling some from that system, and I like it. The only bad part about it is I'm having to go in and relabel basically half of my inventory. Relabel it, and when you relabel your inventory, depending on how you're tracking it, I'm having to relabel it on the item itself. I'm having to relabel it in eBay in the seller SKUs section, label it on my spreadsheet, and keep all that, you know, keep all that together and not lose anything. So, you know, I'm in the middle of doing that inventory system. I mean, it's slow and tedious, but I definitely see the value in it. It's right at the very beginning. I think I considered it and for some reason decided against it. But what I want to do, guys, is I'd like to do a short video later today, and I'll just show you what I'm doing exactly and why I'm doing it. Hopefully it'll make sense to you. And, you know, that way you'll be able to kind of see what it looks like. It's kind of hard to describe it, but basically I just need a way to store jeans, you know, more effectively and also be able to find them. And I'm also doing an audit as I do this. I'm going in and auditing my inventory. So far, no issues, but you know, that may change. So Mark said he sold 9 pair last weekend. Nice, sir. That's a good rip. Any good ones in there, Mark? I think how many pair are you at now, Mark? I can't remember because you said the same here with an inventory system. You know, once I found, Mark, and this is for everybody, you know, once I found I got up to about, I don't know, maybe 100 pairs, somewhere in there. the need for a good inventory system became really, really relevant, or became really, it came to the forefront of my mind, because I realized, you know, when you've got 100 of something, you got to look through it. It's easy to lose it. It's easy to lose it, or just put it in the wrong place and not be able to put your hands on it quickly. And it's inefficient. You end up disappointing buyers if you have to cancel a sale. You don't want to do that if you can avoid it. I mean, it's money you could have had in your pocket. And once you get up to like 2 or 3 or 400 or 500, I mean, it's just, there's just no way you can, I mean, you're not going to remember everything about every item you have if you have hundreds and hundreds of items. I don't care how good your memory is, especially when you're dealing with something like jeans, because they're all going to look similar. You know, you're going to end up selling a lot of the same brand, the same fit, same size. So you've got to have a good inventory system if you're going to sell anything in bulk, unless it's all the exact same item, which is pretty rare. You know, I suppose if you had only 10 SKUs and you had 100 of each SKU, which would be 1,000 items, then maybe you could say, all right, this fixture is all this item, this fixture is all this item. That you could do, but that's not really how most people sell, and that's not really possible to source that way, especially when you're dealing with clothing. I mean, it's just, unless you're buying direct from the manufacturer, there's no way. And even then, you're not going to have, you know, you're not going to have 30 of the same size necessarily. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So you've got to come up with a system where you can put items in your inventory, take them out if you need to look at them for some reason, or take them out, of course, to sell them and get them packed up and shipped away. And you've got to be able to find them quickly. And you've got to be able to keep track of all that, as well as, you know, you got to keep track of it, and you've got to be able to get eBay to keep track of it. Hey guys, if you have any suggestion for eBay, and you know, eBay likes suggestions about their mobile apps and so on, I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to get them to do this. Suggest that they add the seller SKU label, that's viewable and editable in the mobile apps. That would be a great feature. Or that when you sell an item, you can see it. I mean, it's just a pain in the butt when I've always got to go to the laptop to go in and put in my seller SKU. I mean, it just adds a step that I just think is useless. I mean, I'd love to be able to do that right on the mobile app. So, you know, if you get a chance to give feedback to eBay, give that feedback. Even if you don't use that seller app, please do it anyway. I'm really trying to get them to change. I just think it makes so much sense for anybody who sells any kind of volume at all. Mark says he got 2 pair of J brand and a pair of men's. Was that 7 for all mankind? I'm assuming you said fam. Size 36. Yeah, size 36 and 7 for all mankind will sell for good money. I mean, you might even get $35 for those. I don't know, maybe. A dollar a size, right? 36 is 36. No, it's not how it works. But yeah, that's a good pickup for sure. Those are 7 FAMs and so on. But yeah, so inventory is really, really on my mind this week. Karen is out of town. She is out of town working, believe it or not. And she will be back later in the week. And we will probably hopefully get a day or two together to really work the business. You know, her old job is now done, and she is, you know, doing some other things. And obviously we'll be able to work in our eBay business a lot more. So I'm really excited about that. I know she's excited about that possibility. We've been talking about what that's going to look like and so on. Having another set of hands and eyes and another brain to sort of think about things will just be huge. I mean, I don't even know how great it's going to be. I think it's just going to revolutionize our entire business and just send us off into the stratosphere. But one other thing I did today too, guys, I made my first sales tax payment. Fun. The great state of North Carolina likes to tax sales, you know, and I did sell to a few residents here in the state of North Carolina in July. You make your payments in kind of in arrears, basically. So I'm making July's payment here in August. I had to go into the state revenue site, walk through that part. Fortunately, I'm using a program called TaxJar, guys. You may have heard of it. It's pretty good, but there's a couple things about it that, you know, they're trying to hawk a product. So they try to give you the impression that you need to set up to collect sales tax in virtually every state where you have an Amazon warehouse. I've seen enough disagreement about that between sources online that it doesn't look like that's a real clear issue. But I for sure have to collect sales tax from people that I sell to in North Carolina, so which is where I'm located. And so I did that today. So I went in, I got my tax jar info, which showed me the breakdown by person and even county, because counties have their own tax rates. I mean, it's a little bit of a hassle, to be honest with you, but I didn't really have a lot of sales in July to North Carolina residents, which was nice. I think I only ended up remitting just, you know, it was under $10. So not that bad. You know, taxes are a way of life. Unfortunately, they're a big pain in the butt, but you know, sometimes it's easier to give in on things like that. And I guess this is what I'm going to do around the third week of every month now, is remit tax money to the state. I mean, it's not my money. It's not coming out of my pocket. I collected it from buyers, but I don't know. It is my time and money to go in and process it, get it done. Yeah, I could give it to an accountant, but you know, that's just another expense as well. If you haven't got set up to collect sales tax and you guys are running a business, I'm no expert, but I would tell you that you need to really probably consider doing that. You know, they can hit you with some pretty significant penalties and so on, and you don't want to deal with that. It could, you know, I mean, they're not huge penalties, but there's like late payments and non-payments and so on. So once I set up my new corp, I went ahead and you know, got set up to collect sales tax and all that good stuff. So it's all legit. But anyway, it's all your tax professional, your CPAs, whoever you want. But unfortunately, collecting taxes and remitting taxes to the state is just a way of life for. Jason says he wants to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Yeah, I hear you, Jason. I know why you're saying that, because that would mean you'd be doing tremendous sales, which I get, and you're right. It's actually the income part of it's not the bad one. The sales tax one is the one that annoys me, because I get nothing out of it. I mean, I have to sign up for a service like TaxJar, which is a monthly fee for me, or I can try to do it manually, which is a big pain in the butt, especially for eBay. If you haven't experienced that joy. And eBay doesn't always charge tax to people correctly, I found out. I had one late part of last week where they sold to someone else here in North Carolina. I sold something. It didn't collect the tax. I don't know why it didn't, but it's set up to do so. But, you know, the income tax for your business is different. But the sales tax, you're not getting benefit from that. You're just collecting it from your buyers and you're remitting it to the state. So you don't make anything on it, but you do have to spend your time dealing with it. That's the one I just really annoy me. Pittsburgh Mike says, PA, hey Mike, what's up? It doesn't have sales tax on clothing, so that's good for me. Yeah, that is good for you. That is unfortunately not the case here. North Carolina has never met a tax it didn't like. You know, they really create hurdles for small business people to jump over to deal with these issues and compliance. I mean, it's just, you know, how much time and energy and manpower and money is wasted dealing with taxes, you know, just preparing them and collecting them and getting, I mean, and it's just crazy. I mean, if you look at the federal level, it's like a ridiculous amount just to collect the tax requires a tremendous amount of man hours to prepare tax returns and get remitted and so on across the nation. We lose all that productivity. But anyway, I mean, I guess, you know, everybody moans and complains about taxes, but I guess they aren't going anywhere. But I did want to share that little nugget with you. Hang on one second. But, you know, it's one of those things where you just got to suck it up and deal with it. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. New Jersey doesn't collect sales tax either. That's cool, guys. But you know, New Jersey and well, I don't know about New Jersey, but those northern states tend to make up for it with other taxes and the cost of living. Thanks, Mark. So I will take, you know, the cheaper cost of living here. It is a lot cheaper to live here than it is other places. Not that it's super, super cheap, but it is cheaper. And that helps to be able to run a business there because my cost of living is lower. Although where I live is actually kind of expensive, unfortunately, but that's another story for another day. All right, so we got 17 people online, guys. Awesome. Appreciate that. I just saw that I wrote 5,005 genes instead of 5,000. That's kind of funny. I can fix that. Nope, can't really fix that right now. So I'll have to fix that after the video uploads. Actually, maybe I'll leave it. It's kind of funny. But, all right, so let's go to the spreadsheet, and I'll show you how I'm doing. And because we have 17 people watching, which is a nice amount. Mike says go for 10,000. Yeah, Mike, you come show me where to put them, my friend, and I will do it. And how to source them. All right, so let's go see the spreadsheet and see what we got. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that okay. Here is my, let's see, yesterday, Sunday. Here's my Friday numbers. Friday was not a great sales day. Only ended up with 4 sold, which was a total of $95. So, you know, not huge numbers there. Not a great sell-through, 0.65. I mean, that's okay, but I did get a bunch bought Friday, 35 pair, which are now in the mix. And I've got a big full black shelf full of jeans to be photographed and listed. I got 10. Then the weekend hit, you know, not so much on, nothing listed on Saturday. I was kind of tied up all day. Only sold 2. Really slow day. It's kind of weird how this happens on eBay. And $48, you know, $9.61 net per jean, which is okay. That's pretty decent. You know, not a lot of net. Then yesterday happened, and the floodgates kind of opened up a bit. Don't know why. Didn't list any, but did sell 9. So that is the best day I have had so far since this challenge. I also want to point out, I did have another nice sale in here on Friday of a Robert Graham shirt, new with tags, I sold for $135. I have not gotten paid for it because I took an offer on it yet, so we'll see if it actually gets paid for, but it's technically sold. But and I did sell a few other things too between Amazon and eBay, so it's not just these days. But a 224 day, I believe that is, yeah, that's the best day we've had so far, gang, since starting this challenge. Man, gotta love that, right? Estimated net 93.41, which is pretty good. You know, that's not bad. That's a great net per jean of 10.38. That's above my $10 target. Great sell-through of 1.47 on the day. And let's show what I'm not sure if jeans per month will show, so I'm going to stop for a second, then we'll go back to it. And we'll go back into share. I'm not sure if it lets me jump over or not, so I'm just going to assume that it doesn't. All right, and we go to share. All right, so here is August so far, guys. Averaging 592 in listings, so not up over that 600 mark yet for average, but getting there. Bought 54, spent 294, photos 126, listed 151, so I'm actually a little ahead of my listing. It's pretty good. Stores, went to 5 stores, not a lot. Sold 96, so I'm closing on that 100 mark. Hopefully get there today with any luck. Gross of 2365. Cost net almost $1,000 so far. So that's one hurdle that we're getting close to. And net per jean 1016, which is really good. I am happy with that number. Sell-through percentage is 16%. That's about that's around half of what I think it can average on a month. So we'll see as that keeps increasing if we get there or not. Still got a ways to go. And I will show you some giraffes, whatever you want to call them. This one, all right, let's go back in and share. Let's share. Screen share. There we go. Okay. So this one, you can see my listings up, has a slight upward slope, but I need to get to work today. Again, probably a slight slope as well. He's sold as having a nice positive increase. You can see from start to finish. So I'm really happy about that. And my listed, how many I'm listing each day, has a slight upward slope as well, but not as good as it should be. Opportunity over here in listing. You know, it's just like anything else. If you don't list it, they can't buy it. So that's where we're at. Hopefully that all made sense. You guys picked all that up. So I'm pretty happy with the results so far. A long way to go. When Karin gets online a little bit with me in terms of working the business more, you know, we've talked about having some days where we photograph, you know, part of the day, and then maybe list part of the day, and we can blitz out some things together that maybe are a little bit tougher to do singularly. And I'm pretty happy with the results so far. I mean, you know, like I said, a long way to go. You know, I mean, I'm in this for the long haul. I don't get too excited about any one day. I mean, it was great to have 9 listed or 9 sell yesterday. I mean, that's a really good day. It was nice to pull down or walk to the post office with a big, I think I had Saturday and Sundays in there. So I had like this huge, you know, mail tote full of packages. They barely fit in the box, but, you know, it's like anything else, guys. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I'm not going to get too bent out of shape or too ecstatic about any one occurrence. But, you know, I think the weather is going to help here a lot very, very shortly. And we're going to get some colder weather or just a little cooler temperatures here the next couple months. And that will get people thinking about jeans and so on. I mean, I've had a couple double sales lately. And what I mean by double sales are 2 sales to the same person the same day, so I could combine shipment. I had that today and ended up saving $4 over what it would have cost me in a flat rate padded mailer. So that was nice. It's $4 more in my pocket, right? I mean, instead of paying $13 to ship, 50, or actually instead of paying $10.80, $11.80, $5.90, $5.90, I ended up paying like I don't know, it was like 7 something, I think, maybe $8. It was, you know, save like $3 or $4 combining them together, putting them in a vinyl bag. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're selling more and more shipments to somebody, combine those shipments, look for a way to save those shipping dollars. That's a nice way to just put a few extra bucks in your pocket and help out. And you can always refund it to your buyer too if you want. If you want to refund them the difference, you know, you can do that part too if you like. That's up to you. However you want to do it. Depends on lots of factors. Big T says, hey, Prof, was just curious, what do you do when you measure jeans with an odd size like 30 by 32.5? Do you round down or you just keep the half in the title area and item specific? So you have an inseam that has a 32.5, Big T. My first thought would be, are those jeans hemmed? You know, it's kind of unusual to find jeans, or they might just have been like an error. It's kind of unusual to find jeans that have a 1/2 inch inseam number. And I would usually try to go to like a whole number for the most part. Are you going to the bottom of the crotch zipper or the crotch stitching? You know, certain jeans sometimes will measure their inseam a little different than other jeans. I probably stay away from halves overall. Who is it? Is it Silver? I think that sometimes does that. They put halves in, or maybe they put it in their waist size. I can't remember, but you know, unless it's listed that way in the tag, I don't think I would put a half in there. I mean, I think that's kind of confusing to people, and I would question whether the jeans had been hemmed or had an error, or maybe your measurement's a little bit off to where you're measuring that inseam. I don't think I would put a half in. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but it just confuses people. People don't shop for inseams that way. They shop in whole numbers. So, Utah, do you ever schedule your listings? Nope, I don't. I do. I mean, I'm doing pretty much 30-day 30-day buy nows right now. So there's no real reason for me to schedule it. I know Mike runs some auctions and so does Mark, and they could probably tell you better about how to schedule auctions and when to start, when to stop, maybe to get the most views and better chance to sell. But I don't think, I don't think that I ever really schedule them. It usually costs you a few cents as well to do, right? If you don't do it right away. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but to me, it's just added cost. And I don't know if you get enough bang for your buck. Maybe you do, but you'd have to find somebody who had data on that and could really prove it. And it's kind of hard to prove those things. So this is the way I look at it, guys. On face value, when something in your business costs you money to do differently, you need to be able to figure out, you need to be able to assess that that extra cost is going to be worth it. And most of the subjects in reselling that we spend a lot of time about, like schedule listings, auctions versus buy nows, 3-day versus 7-day versus 10-day, eBay versus Amazon, this or that. There's no real good statistical information out there to tell us the absolute truth. As a matter of fact, it's very hard to do that unless you had a huge data set, much bigger than one seller has, because you need to compare apples to apples over the same time frame with similar controls and listing specification. It's just really hard to prove any of that stuff from a statistical point of view. So I look at it like I just don't worry about it. I'm going to run my business as cheaply as I can, but also as effectively as I can. I don't want to spend money. I don't want to give eBay extra money to promote my listings and do things like that if I can figure out ways to do it without spending the money. And I don't think I'm hurting myself much. And even if I am hurting myself a little bit, you'd have to prove that it would be worth the extra cost to schedule listings, for example, versus, sell through and amount I'm going to get. And it's definitely like scheduling listings and paying money for it. It's definitely not going to get you a higher price for your items. The buyer doesn't care about that. It just is going to get them seen time where they might be more likely to sell. If a buyer is willing to pay $10 for an item, they're not willing to pay $10.50 just because the item started at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That doesn't make any sense. So really all you're trying to do there is to get it in front of buyers at the right time to where they're more likely to see it. And that's kind of a little tricky thing to figure out. So that's my rant. Rant for the day. Mike says, I attribute the half-inch measurements to it shrinking. Yep, could be. BKE, that's who I was thinking about, does halves on the inseams. That's who I was thinking about, Mike. I could see the tag, but I couldn't think of who it was. Yeah, BKE does that, and I don't know. I just don't think people really care about that much. A half inch and an inseam, you're talking about like that much, guys. It's an issue, but it's not a huge issue. Mike says he puts his auctions in drafts. So I don't want to listen at the moment, then listen whenever I want to. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Drafts are great. Drafts are great too if you list a lot of the same things over and over. You can just go back to the draft, create a template. You're basically using a template and just enter it in, or as Mike says, create them as drafts and then list them whenever you want. That way you don't have to pay the fee. Perfect solution. I think I considered that when I first started, but then I realized I didn't know. I couldn't figure out when would be a perfect time to start a 30-day listing. Like what would make, it sell quicker. It's 30 days, guys. What are we really trying to do here? We think we're going to sell in 30 seconds or 30 minutes. You're putting it up for a month. So I don't know that, it's going to be seen in good times and not so great times and average times. I don't know, but I try not to stress over those things because they're just way out of my control. And I just look at them like they're kind of minutia that you don't really need to worry about that much. But anyway, hey guys, 21 people watching today. Thank you for that very much. If you wouldn't mind, I appreciate you hitting the like button if you're getting something out of this content, these live vlogs. And I would like it, and so would YouTube, and I'll be your best friend. All right, I won't be your best friend, but I will be a friend, a YouTube friend. So, hey, you got that going for you. You've got Prof Sales as your YouTube friend. What else on the day? That's pretty much it. I'm going to be flipping a couple of my black shelves around a little bit. I took all the jeans out of one of them, put them on the floor in order, and then I'm rotating the other ones to that one as I go. So that way I don't have to, room gets a little tight if you try to unload 2 at once, or worse, I really need to unload 3 at once. And that's just not, so that's like 45 stacks of jeans, and it's just crazy. Utah says, what about buy it nows versus auction? Again, it's one of those subjects where I think we spend so much time on it to get so little out of the conversation. And I mean, there's not a right or wrong answer there. Auctions are, you know, Mike says buy it now is for getting your price, auctions to move inventory. I mean, sure. I mean, but you know, there's people who do it, who do that and do that backwards, Mike. You know, they do it. They try to get a higher price in an auction and a lower price for a buy it now. I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but I mean, eBay's known for auctions, but to me, an auction, if it's, I think Mike and Mark both do auctions for visibility reasons, and of course to move inventory. But you know, buy it now. I mean, what's the difference between setting an auction with a reserve price of say $10 versus a buy it now for $10? I mean, what's really the distinction? Well, the distinction is with an auction, the theory is that you get more visibility with it. So therefore you get in front of more eyeballs and you can sell it easier. More people see it, chances are better, more will buy it. That could be. But again, it's just, I love the fire and forget way about buy it nows for, I don't have to fool with them for a month. And every day I can go in. This is the other thing I like to do too, guys. Raykin put out a video about this the other day about Sundays. I think he actually put it out yesterday. And I watched it last night. It was pretty short video. It was good. But one of the tips he had in there was to go in on Sundays and reprice your eBay items. And I think there's some value in that. You can do that with buy it nows, which is part of the reason I like them. Because what I have started doing is I have kind of a price structure, and I start at the top end with most of my jeans. And then when they expire in 30 days, if they haven't sold, I knock $1 off. And it's pretty quick to do that. You could even go in and do it in bulk if you wanted to. But I basically just do it with all the ones that expire for that day. Some of the ones for that day, I'll just go in and just resubmit just like they are and keep them that way and not even change them. But then there's others I can go, and you can even do it in bulks, do that. You can say, all right, you know, these 8 pair of jeans are selling for $17 and they didn't move. So now I'm going to make them $16, and you select them all and you're done. You know, so repricing is a kind of a topic that's maybe not talked about enough on eBay. You know, and you know, you can do that with buy it now. So that's why I like them. And the fact I don't have to fool with them for 30 days. You know, I'm just going to let them linger out there, maybe get a chance to index some of them by Google. Who knows? But, you know, auctions are fine too. I mean, I just don't particularly do them because they're a little more time consuming, I think, and nothing wrong with them. And I think, Mike, you guys can maybe, auctions still, they don't have to pay for it right away. Is that still correct? Or is there an immediate payment option with auctions now? I'm not sure. I mean, I love the immediate payment. I only use that on buy it nows. The only exception to that is if you do get an offer or you send someone an offer, rather, then they can wait to pay you, which is what I got going with that Robert Graham shirt the guy still owes me $135 for. But I think, you know, just having that immediate payment option is great, because that way I don't have to worry about chasing people down for payment. And if I was doing auctions, I'm not totally positive, but I think auctions, you can still wait to pay, unless it's changed. Maybe it's changed. I could be wrong, but they don't have immediate pay for auctions. Yeah, there you go. So if they did have that, I'd probably be even more apt to try some of them. But man, I hate chasing people for money after they've already bought something. Plus, after you've bought it, it's not listed anymore. you know, so you can't even sell it to somebody else at that time. That's just, I don't like that. I don't really get that about eBay either. I mean, if you go to an auction in person, you have to, and you know, before you walk out the door and you buy something, you have to pay for it. You know, unless you've got some sort of credit with the auction house, which is unlikely. But I don't know. Anyway, scheduling is free. Brenda says, I list a bunch of items at one time and schedule them and individually sell daily so that I have regular listings happening throughout the month. I didn't think scheduling was free, but maybe it's changed. I thought scheduling cost you like 10 cents an item or something like that. Maybe not. Utah says he has a basic store, charge for scheduling my listings. Yeah, I'm not sure. Brenda, how do you get, is that true? Like if you don't have a store, the scheduling's free, but if you have a store, it's not. That doesn't really make much sense, but it could be. I have I guess it's a premium store. It's not the top one, like the anchor one, but I think it's the one below that. I assume, Mike says, I assume they don't do immediate pay for auctions because the buyer may not be on at the time when the listing ends. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that makes total sense because they bid, right? I just think that, I think as a business model, like if you were running a brick and mortar store that way, you would really have some headaches. And I just look at it like, and brick and mortar is not the best model for most things, but I think in this case, brick and mortar is. I mean, you don't get to walk into Target and put a bunch of stuff on reserve and say, well, I'll come in there later, but don't sell it to anybody else. Now, if a store has layaway, you can sort of do that, but in layaway, you know, they still have the items in the store and they effectively can, if you don't pay in a certain time frame, they'll return them to stock. You can come back in and get a refund. But there's a reason why, you know, layaway is a big pain in the ass. As somebody who's worked as a retail manager in a store with layaway, let me tell you, it is a pain in the ass. And every year at Christmas time, tremendous amounts of toys and items that were in layaway that did not get picked up, get returned back to the sales floor where they are now multiple percentages off. I'm trying to think, like, I used to work for Kmart, and on the day after Christmas that we or within that next week, we returned something like $200,000 worth of merchandise back to stock that did not get picked up. It was terrible. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I just don't like that whole model in general, that whole lack of immediate payment, but I understand the reason for it. It's just not how I want to run mine. Yeah, and they want it to be as possible. They want it to be as easy as possible for someone to hit that bid button. Sure. Right? You put in a bid, it's not even like you really paid for it, right? Mike, have you tracked whether you get more or less returns with auctions versus buy it now? I don't know why that would really make much difference, but maybe. I've been working with the 50 free listings, and they gave you 500 free. Yeah, eBay is always giving you free listings, and you know the store saves me in value fees every month. You know, I get 1,000 items I don't have to pay insertion fees for, and you know that alone just pretty much pays for the store. But you know, you can run sales, which is nice. You can do markdowns and so on. You know, all those reasons, all good reasons to have a store. But you know, you can definitely run eBay without a store as well and do very, very well. So I don't know. But I'm excited, guys. It is going to be onward and upward with this Gene Challenge and everything else going on. And I am going to do my best to get out some different video content this week that is not just live vlogs. Although I do love these chats we have with you guys, and you know the comments have been great. I think I had I was looking at my metrics the other day, and just kind of going through like what sort of metrics I've got. eBay or YouTube gives you a lot of analytics on your channel, and I can't find it now. Let's see if I can find it. It's got the, but there was one on there, and I've had something like 1,500 or 2,000 comments, guys, which is just crazy. So I mean, I couldn't believe how high it had gotten up already, and that's all you guys. So I do appreciate that. Yvonne, you're late. I'm late. Yes, you're late, and unfortunately, I'm getting ready to go. So sorry. But all these nice people. I wish there was a way we could keep the chat going after I log off, but I don't think there's a way, guys. Unfortunately. Jason says, plus you get $50 off eBay branded pack. Yeah, those boxes are great to send stuff to Amazon, Jason. I've done it. But anyway, well, thank you guys for coming on today. I really do appreciate it. Always great chat. Lots of good info in the chat. I mean, I know if you're watching this video later, you're not going to get to see the chat. But if you subscribe to my channel and you see that I'm coming on live, try to catch the show. I mean, there's great stuff in the chat that you won't see after the video post because the chat goes away, unfortunately. But there's really good stuff. People ask great questions, and we've got some people who are really good sellers who are involved in helping answer those questions. So consider joining us, guys, throughout the day. Whenever we have these vlogs, try to do them every day, at least Monday through Friday. But anyway. All right, so leave me a comment down below. Hit the like button before you go out the door, and I would appreciate that. And hit that subscribe button if you want to get every prof sales video as it comes out. So I do appreciate it, guys. I hope you guys have an awfully great rest of your Monday. I will be in touch and see all of you really soon, okay? All right, so as always, Prof Sales saying good sales to you.